Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. Talking about bail reform. We had people on not that long ago saying that there was a need to reform the way bail and bonding is done here in Davidson County. Happy to have with us tonight two people representing bail bonding companies. We have Mario Hambrick with Free at Last Bail Bonding, Mark Woodside with Melton Bonding Company. You guys, Mark, you were saying there may be a need to tweak the system. You want a seat at the table as these tweaks are being discussed. Is that right? Or what point is it you're wanting to establish?
Well, again, we have people that have been designated as stakeholders. We have not been delegated as or designated stakeholders. This is our livelihood. This is what we have chosen our professions to be. We have answers to a lot of these questions and problems if they would just give us the opportunity to speak.
And the biggest thing you would do would be what? How could we change things?
Well, in times past, when there were indigent people, the bonding companies had made the offer. We can make these people's bonds. We can try to keep up with them, notify them of their court dates. If they don't come to court, just don't penalize us financially. They won't do that. The system says that that's just not a viable option.
And as a result, there are people who can't afford to make the bond that stay in jail.
Correct.
And I guess both sides see that. So that's a fact. Both sides see that. The question is how to deal with it.
And one side is trying to embellish and inflate the numbers.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to some calls here. Let's go to Corey. Hello, Corey.
Hi, yes.
Go right ahead.
The two guys that are sitting next to you, they do a pretty good job at their day-to-day jobs. That's their, as that man just said, it's his living, it's his livelihood. I don't think that the ACLU saying that the people are in jail because they can't afford a bond, they're in jail because they committed a crime. This, to me, is a judicial issue to where if they say, oh, the bonds are too high, then maybe they need to figure out with the judicial system how much a set bond should be for said crime. If they can't do the time, then don't do the crime. Don't come out and say, hey, their bond's too high because he just committed a felony assault or he just committed a misdemeanor theft. It doesn't matter. You go before the judge, they tell you how much it is. You can afford it. You can afford it. If you can't, my argument, my opinion would be you sit there and next time that you go to assault somebody or you steal something, you're going to be remembered of sitting in jail.
All right.
You know?
So you don't think there's a need to reform the system?
I don't think that there's a need to reform the system. Maybe look at the judicial side of it to where when you go before a night court commissioner or you go before a judge, they set the bond. Maybe tweak how much it is as far as what crimes commit a bond. But somebody's looked at that at one point in time and said, hey, you do this, this is how much your bond will be. You do this, there's mitigating factors as well, I'm pretty sure, of has Ben Hall been to jail before? And are we going to set his bond instead of $5,000? We're going to do $50,000 this time.
Right.
I think it's a judicial system, not anything that somebody should step in and say, hey, if you can't afford it, you don't need to be in there. You've committed a crime. It doesn't matter if you can afford it or not. It doesn't matter if the state can't afford to keep you in jail to feed you or whatever. You've done a crime. And if you're just going to say, okay, well, never mind, in my opinion, if you're going to say, never mind, it doesn't matter, let's just release all these people on their own recognizance, hoping that they're going to come back to jail, you know?
All right, well, let's talk about that. Now, I know, and Mario, I want you to address that. I know the other side would say, all right, you've been arrested, you have not been convicted of a crime, and it could be that one person is arrested for the exact same crime, they have the money to pay, and another person, you know, that's arrested for the exact same crime doesn't and stays in jail. Why is one appropriate?
Well, I would submit, I mean, just like I tell people, you know, a lot of times I have friends and I have family members, you know, don't go out here and get yourself into a situation that you can't get out of. I mean, it all goes back to being responsible. I mean, when we were all in school and growing up, it's like, you know, don't bite off more than you can chew. So, you know, and when I went to McGavick High School, and there was many times I was in the car with friends, and basically I said, oh, things don't seem right. Let me get out of this car. And I've caught myself many times walking and having to call some family member, someone to come and get me because of the simple fact I knew things wasn't right and some friends was going to do some bad things. So it all goes back to choices. But in regards to that, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, we see it on a day-to-day basis. I mean, people downtown, I mean, there's so many cars broken into, and a lot of these people are homeless, Ben. They're homeless. A lot of them don't even live here. They're basically just breaking in cars, trying to get some materials and things to go sell to get some drugs. Well, as soon as the police arrest them, they take them to jail. They are armed. And on the thing right here, it says 639 Lafayette. That's the mission.
Right.
So I would submit that, you know, how can you, I mean, I know the person don't want to be homeless, but how can you say that he's going to come back to court and he lives in the mission?
And ROR again means release on own recognizance.
That's ROR. That's when
that
the
means
commissioner.
no bond, right?
That's no bond. That's when the commissioner chooses to release them now. They've done this, I guess, been doing this for 8 months. And then the pretrial is where the pretrial department, the Davidson County Sheriff's Department, releases a lot of people as well. So you have two parts. You have the pretrial department, and then you have the commissioners, which they've pretty much ordered to start ROR and everybody, a lot of people.
Oh, so that's on the increase. The RORs are on the increase.
Definitely. I would say between February of last year and this year, you've probably had 10 to 12,000 people that have just been released to the streets, paying no bond, just either pretrial or ROR.
Do you think that's because of some of the concerns that are being raised with this issue?
Exactly. They have basically bowed down to this, you know, the what is it, ACLU. They've just bowed down and basically says, hey, you know, we're going to just do what you want us to do. I mean, people call us every day wanting to sue, threatening to sue. So how can some, you know, ACLU says, hey, Nashville judges, we're going to sue you guys. And they say, okay, well, you know, we're just going to let everybody go.
And it's also civil rights court. That's another big group.
Exactly.
And you're saying Houston, Harris County, they actually did get a lawsuit and lost. Very interesting.
And I would submit.
But it went to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and Harris County won part and lost part.
So you're saying also there's frustration on the part of some police officers.
Well, exactly. If you think about it, Ben, between February of last year and this year, crime rate has almost doubled in this county, if not more, in a lot of different areas. I mean, it is out of control. I mean, out of control.
Let's go to Glenda. Hello, Glenda.
Yes.
Go right ahead. What's on your mind?
Well, Kentucky doesn't have the bail. You can't post bail in Kentucky with a bail bondsman. And that is horrible because you have a grandson that got accused of a crime, non-violent, non-drug related or anything. And if you don't have $5,000, you have no way of getting him out to go back to college. So you're just messed up. I wish we had a bail bond.
So you live in Kentucky?
Yes.
Okay. And they don't release on own recognizance and that kind of thing?
Well, they do, very sparingly.
Okay. So you wish they had it?
I wish we had bail bonds here where instead of putting up $5,000, which I don't have, I have $500 I could put up and get my grandson out of jail.
Okay. All right,
and I had a friend that got arrested in Kentucky at Western Kentucky University probably about 5 years ago, around 2 in the morning. So we had to scrape up $1,500 to go up there and give to the Warren County Sheriff's Department to make his bond. So, I mean, so it is what it is.
Let's go to Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy.
Yes.
Go right ahead.
What options do we have as Davidson County residents to stop this? How can we stop them from letting them out of jail?
I don't know that that's, well, all right. There's a fascinating, debate is where we are. So you're saying it's already happening. They're letting them out of jail, which is obviously, that's going to upset a lot of people.
Every day, all day. Every day, all day. I
mean,
and
it's because they're concerned about a lawsuit.
Exactly.
So it wasn't happening before.
It was, but not to the degree that they are doing now.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're also saying there may be a happy medium here.
I think there could be.
And that happy medium, as you explained, would be review how bonds are set, review the system, just have all the stakeholders at the table.
Exactly.
And I would submit to Jimmy there, basically, it all comes down to election. We elect officials that has the citizens' best interests, which you have some people, some judges over there believe, you know, they don't like bondsmen and think it's, you know, they're totally against it. And you have some sheriff people that just believe, you know, hey, we just need to do away with these guys. So it's all about the election process, just like the election is coming up. It's all about, when you go to the ballot, about how do people feel about certain issues that are going on. And I can tell you this, man, I had an older brother, and he used to commit crimes. And his attorney, Doak Patton, called me and says, Mar, I've got a bond set. Can you go get him? I said, negative. He needs to be there. He needs to dry up. So a lot of times people, like I said, God, you know, some of my family used to get upset with me, but he needed to be there.
All right, we're going to take a break. If you're on the line, hold on. If you're not, there's the number. A couple lines open. 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.